Imagine a creature with no lungs, barely any body, and legs so impossibly long they house most of its vital organs. Now imagine this alien-like being growing to the size of a dinner plate, silently stalking the pitch-black waters of the deepest oceans. This isn't science fiction. It's the reality of the giant sea spider, a creature so strange it makes the octopus look downright ordinary. Despite their name and appearance, giant sea spiders aren't actually spiders at all. In fact, they're not even arachnids. These creatures belong to a distinct group of marine arthropods called pycnogonids, or pantopods, which means all legs in Greek. This name is particularly fitting, as you'll soon discover. Sea spiders come in a wide range of sizes, from tiny species barely visible to the naked eye to the giants we're focusing on today. The largest known species, Colossendeus colossaea, can have a leg span of up to 70 centimeters or about 28 inches. That's bigger than a dinner plate. While most sea spiders are found in shallow waters and are relatively small, the giants we're discussing today are primarily inhabitants of the deep sea and polar regions. This is due to a fascinating phenomenon called polar gigantism, which we'll explore in more detail later. Now that we've established what sea spiders are, let's take a closer look at their unusual anatomy. Prepare yourself for a body plan that seems to defy conventional animal design. The first thing you'll notice about a giant sea spider is, of course, those incredibly long, slender legs. Most species have 8 legs, although some can have 10 or even 12. These legs aren't just for walking. They're essential for the sea spider's survival in ways you might not expect. At the center of this leg bouquet is a tiny body that seems almost comically small in comparison. This body is divided into 3 main segments: the proboscis, which is a tube-like mouthpart, the cephalothorax, which houses the brain and eyes, and a diminutive abdomen that's so small it's almost non-existent. One of the most striking features of sea spider anatomy is what's missing. They lack many of the internal organs we typically associate with complex animals. They have no respiratory organs, no excretory organs, and a very simple circulatory system. So how do they survive? The answer lies in those extraordinary legs. Giant sea spiders have evolved a fascinatingly minimalist approach to body design, pushing most of their vital functions out into their legs. This adaptation allows them to maximize their surface area-to-volume ratio, which is crucial for survival in the cold, oxygen-poor waters they call home. Let's start with breathing. Unlike most marine animals, sea spiders don't have gills. Instead, they absorb oxygen directly through their cuticle, the hard outer layer of their exoskeleton. Their long, thin legs provide an enormous surface area for this gas exchange to occur, allowing them to extract enough oxygen from the water to survive. But it's not just respiration that happens in the legs. The sea spider's digestive system extends into each leg, with branches of the gut reaching almost to the tips. This allows them to efficiently distribute nutrients throughout their body, compensating for their lack of a complex circulatory system. Speaking of circulation, sea spiders have another trick up their sleeve, or rather, in their legs. Their heart only pumps blood through the central part of the body and the proximal parts of the legs. To circulate blood through the rest of their legs, they rely on a process called gut peristalsis. The sea spider's gut contracts and relaxes in a wave-like motion, helping to move blood through the legs along with digested nutrients. This extreme adaptation to their environment makes giant sea spiders a prime example of how life can thrive in even the most challenging conditions. One of the most intriguing aspects of giant sea spiders is their enormous size compared to their temperate and tropical relatives. This phenomenon, known as polar gigantism, isn't unique to sea spiders. It's been observed in various other Antarctic marine invertebrates as well. But why does this happen? Scientists have proposed several theories to explain polar gigantism. One leading hypothesis is related to oxygen availability. Cold water can hold more dissolved oxygen than warm water, and the metabolism of animals in these frigid environments tends to be slower. This combination could allow polar species to grow to larger sizes without running into oxygen limitations. Another theory suggests that the stable, resource-rich environment of the Antarctic seafloor, coupled with reduced predation pressure, allows these animals to invest more energy in growth over many years. Some estimates suggest that giant sea spiders may live for decades, slowly growing to their impressive sizes. The phenomenon of polar gigantism in sea spiders provides a fascinating glimpse into the ways animals can adapt to extreme environments, pushing the boundaries of what we think is possible in terms of body size and design. Now that we understand the basics of giant sea spider anatomy and their environment, let's dive into their day-to-day lives. How do these bizarre creatures move, feed, and interact with their environment? Movement in giant sea spiders is a slow and deliberate affair. Their long legs allow them to move with a graceful, almost balletic quality as they traverse the seafloor. Some species can also swim, using an umbrella-like pulsing motion that propels them through the water. When it comes to feeding, giant sea spiders are predators and scavengers. Their proboscis acts like a straw, allowing them to suck out the soft tissues of their prey. Their diet typically includes soft-bodied invertebrates like anemones, hydroids, and bryozoans. Interestingly, some sea spiders are known to be parasites of anemones, feeding on them without killing them, a bit like underwater vampires. One of the most fascinating aspects of sea spider behavior is their parental care. In most species, it's the male that takes on the role of caring for the eggs. After mating, the female deposits her eggs onto the male's specialized egg-carrying legs, called ovagers. The male then carries these eggs until they hatch, protecting them and keeping them clean. However, as we'll see later, giant Antarctic sea spiders have recently been discovered to have a very different reproductive strategy. Given their simple body plan and the dark environment they inhabit, you might wonder how giant sea spiders perceive and interact with their world. While they may lack some of the sensory organs we're familiar with, they have evolved some unique adaptations to navigate their deep-sea home. Most sea spiders have 4 simple eyes located on a tubercle, a small bump on top of their cephalothorax. However, in many deep-sea species, including some giants, these eyes are reduced or absent. Instead, these creatures rely heavily on other senses to find food and mates. Their legs play a crucial role in sensory perception. They're covered in sensitive hairs and other structures that can detect chemical signals in the water, vibrations, and even slight changes in water pressure. This allows the sea spider to build a detailed picture of its environment despite the darkness of the deep sea. The proboscis, in addition to its feeding function, also serves as an important sensory organ. It's equipped with chemoreceptors that help the sea spider detect potential food sources in its vicinity. These sensory adaptations allow giant sea spiders to thrive in an environment that might seem inhospitable to many other creatures, showcasing the incredible adaptability of life in the deep sea. To truly appreciate the marvel that is the giant sea spider, we need to step back in time and explore their evolutionary history. Sea spiders are an ancient lineage, with fossil evidence suggesting they've been around for at least 500 million years. That's older than the dinosaurs. The oldest known sea spider fossil, Cambropycnogon klausmülleri, dates back to the Cambrian period, about 500 million years ago. Interestingly, this ancient sea spider already showed many of the characteristics we see in modern species, suggesting that the basic sea spider body plan has been successful for an incredibly long time. Over the millions of years since their first appearance, sea spiders have diversified into over 1,300 known species, ranging from the tiny to the gigantic. They've colonized almost every marine environment, from the intertidal zone to the deepest ocean trenches, and from tropical coral reefs to polar waters. They've survived multiple mass extinction events and continue to thrive in some of the most challenging environments on Earth. For over 140 years, the reproductive habits of giant Antarctic sea spiders remained a mystery to scientists. Unlike their smaller relatives, no one had ever observed these giants brooding their young or knew anything about their development. That all changed with a groundbreaking discovery made by researchers from the University of Hawaii at Manoa in late 2021. During an expedition to Antarctica, the research team, led by Professor Amy Moran, made a startling observation. They collected groups of giant sea spiders that appeared to be mating and transferred them to observation tanks. What they saw next was completely unexpected and challenged everything we thought we knew about sea spider reproduction. Instead of the male carrying the eggs as seen in other sea spider species, the giant Antarctic sea spiders exhibited a completely different strategy. One parent, likely the male, spent 2 days attaching thousands of tiny eggs to the rocky bottom of the tank. These eggs then developed for several months before hatching into tiny larvae. This discovery was further confirmed when the researchers spotted similar egg masses in the wild, camouflaged by a coating of microscopic algae that grew over them within weeks of being laid. This camouflage explains why these egg masses had never been observed before, despite over a century of research on these creatures. The implications of this discovery are significant. It suggests that giant Antarctic sea spiders have evolved a unique reproductive strategy, possibly in response to the challenges of their extreme environment. The long development time of the eggs, which is hatching after 8 months after spawning, and the camouflage provided by the algal growth may be adaptations to increase the survival chances of the offspring in the harsh Antarctic waters. This breakthrough not only fills a major gap in our understanding of giant sea spider biology, but also highlights how much we still have to learn about the creatures inhabiting our planet's most extreme environments. As we look to the future, we can be certain that giant sea spiders still have many secrets to reveal. Each new discovery, like the recent findings about their reproduction, opens up new questions and avenues for research. Who knows what other surprises these bizarre and beautiful creatures might have in store for us? And if you want to dive deeper into the mysteries of the ocean, make sure you're subscribed to this channel.